Let's look at the thermal logs. The current survival strategy of the modern individual is logically equivalent to ripping out the load-bearing pillars of one's own house and burning them in the living room for temporary warmth. There is no other way to frame the data. We are cannibalizing the structure just to survive the weather.
Hold on. You are starting with a condemnation before we even establish the context here. You're talking about burning pillars as if it's an act of insanity. But you are completely ignoring the temperature outside. It is freezing. If I don't burn that wood, my family freezes to death tonight. You're analyzing architecture. I'm talking about immediate biological survival.
I am analyzing the structural bug in the civilization's source code. You are reacting to the cold. I am pointing out that the furnace is broken by design. The system is currently configured so that economic value is mathematically equal to resource destruction. The more an individual successfully lives, that is, works, earns, consumes, the faster the planetary foundation carbonizes. It is a closed loop. You are not just burning wood, you are burning the floor you stand on.
And I'm telling you that for the individual, that distinction is a luxury they simply cannot afford. This is the microeconomic reality. The priority isn't the house's long-term architectural integrity. It is the immediate warmth required for the family unit's biological continuation right now. To demand they stop burning the pillars is to demand they die. You are asking for a suicide pact in the name of sustainability.
That is exactly the trap. You are describing a hostage situation and calling it a lifestyle. Let's look at the sinking ship data from the source material. It clarifies this mechanism perfectly. Imagine humanity as passengers on a massive luxury liner. The ship is taking on water. You, the responsible individual, are bailing out water with a bucket to prevent sinking. This is your job. This is your honest labor.
Exactly. We are keeping the ship afloat. We are doing the work. That bucket represents the struggle of every working person to keep their head above water. It's noble.
You are missing the mechanical linkage. In this design, the bucket you are using to bail water is mechanically linked to a drill that bores holes in the hull. Every time you lift the bucket to save yourself, the drill drives deeper into the steel. The act of bailing water, working to solve your immediate financial problems, drives the drill of resource depletion. The harder you work to stay afloat, the faster the ship sinks.
That is a horrific metaphor, but it ignores what that bailing actually produces. It isn't just meaningless movement. It's medical care, it's education, it's infrastructure. We aren't just drilling holes, we are building a civilization inside that ship. You are dismissing the entire engine of human prosperity as a mistake. That drill, as you call it, has lifted billions out of poverty. It has doubled the human lifespan.
It has lifted the lifespan by borrowing energy from the future. It is a credit card scheme disguised as productivity. Yes, the engine runs, but look at the exhaust pipe. You cite prosperity, but the source material defines this as an accounting error. Our current operating system uses GDP as its primary thermal log, but GDP is blind to entropy. If you cut down a forest and sell the timber, GDP goes up. If you leave the forest to filter the air and stabilize the soil, GDP remains flat. The system registers the destruction of the asset as a net positive.
Because the timber provides immediate utility. It builds homes, it creates paper. You're calling it garbage, but to the market, it's value. The market is simply a reflection of human needs. If people need wood, the market provides it.
It is value only because the balance sheet ignores the cost of the lost ecosystem services. The bug is that the liquidation of planetary capital is recorded as income. We are burning the furniture and calling it revenue. This is why I say richness in your current standard is simply a measurement of how fast we can turn raw resources into garbage. The honest labor you are defending is merely the fuel for this incinerator. You are celebrating the efficiency of the bailing while ignoring the noise of the drill.
I am not celebrating anything. I am defending the sacred domain of the individual. We need to define the packet of life here. We are talking about food, rest, the protection of family. These are not abstract economic concepts. These are absolute physical truths. They override any macroeconomic theory or environmental ethics you want to throw at me.
They are biological imperatives, yes, but they are being held for ransom.
Then you must concede that if the system demands the sacrifice of the family unit for the sake of the hull, then the system is the enemy, not the passenger with the bucket. You cannot ask a father to starve his children to save a planet that won't be habitable for them anyway if they die of hunger next week. That is the definition of a tyrant's logic.
I do not ask the passenger to starve. I am pointing out that the passenger has been placed in a mechanism designed by arsonists who do not know fire. The individual situation is not noble. It is a calculated entrapment. Let's shift the metaphor to the bicycle with the bomb. This is the accurate model of your labor market.
You're calling a job a bomb? You are really stretching to vilify the concept of earning a living.
I am saying the individual is forced to pedal a bicycle rigged with explosives. If they stop pedaling, if they stop earning, stop participating in this extraction economy, their family explodes. That is financial ruin, starvation, homelessness. That is the bomb. But the pedaling mechanism powers a drill that is destroying the earth. The faster you pedal to keep your family safe, the faster you destroy the ground the bicycle rides on.
You are dismantling the dignity of work with that image. You're making it sound like a torture device.
It is a torture device. It is a feedback loop of destruction. The system has monopolized the essentials: land, water, food. It releases them only in exchange for what I call destruction tickets, which you call currency. Every dollar in your pocket represents a unit of carbon liberated from the ground.
But I reject the coldness of this analysis. You sit there auditing the system, but what is the peddler supposed to do? You are critiquing the victim for the trap they are caught in. You cannot ask a hostage to stop peddling if it means immediate death. You are asking for martyrdom.
I am not criticizing the peddler. The peddler is innocent. I am indicting the design. The criticism is against the architecture that requires planetary arsonist as the price of admission for lunch. The arsonists, the incompetent architects and elites, have set the house on fire and then handed you a bill for the heating.
Then let's talk about how we protect ourselves from these arsonists. We don't just peddle blindly. We save, we accumulate, we build a buffer.
Ah, savings, the illusion of safety.
It is not an illusion. It is a defense mechanism. It is a biological imperative to store energy for winter. In a society that provides no safety net, accumulation is the only shield a family has. It's responsible. It allows a parent to say, no matter what happens to the economy, my children will eat.
In a circular system, savings are a system error. They are a blockage of flow. But more importantly, what are you saving? You are hoarding the very destruction tickets that are fueling the fire. The fact that individuals need to save proves that the system uses fear of the future as its primary engine.
It proves we are prudent. It proves we have foresight.
It proves you were terrified. The arsonists use the concept of self-responsibility, saying you should have saved more money, to distract from the fact that they set the house on fire. It is logically equivalent to an arsonist lecturing a burn victim on their lack of fire insurance. You are hoarding currency to protect yourself from the destruction that currency caused. And let's not forget inflation. The arsonists dilute the value of your savings to keep the fire burning. Your shield is melting in your hands.
You call it hoarding. I call it ensuring my children can go to university. I call it ensuring we can pay for medical care. You can call it a system error all you want. But to the individual, that bank account is the only thing standing between them and the abyss.
And that abyss is artificial. It is manufactured scarcity. By validating savings as a virtue, you are validating the system's failure to provide stability. You are playing the game exactly as the arsonist designed it. You are internalizing the blame for a structural collapse.
Then give me a tool. Give me something other than despair. We have technology. We have AI. We have efficiency. If the system is broken, can't we use these tools to fix the hull without stopping the bucket? We can optimize the pedaling so it doesn't drive the drill as deep.
I was waiting for the technological savior argument. It is invalid. This is the Jivens paradox. Efficiency does not reduce consumption, it increases it.
Why? AI can optimize resource usage. It can solve logistics. It can figure out how to distribute food without waste. It is the most powerful tool we have ever created.
Cite the source material. AI is the ultimate dissipation device. Do you realize the caloric cost of this conversation? The servers, the cooling systems, the water usage required for me to analyze this data and for you to argue against it. We are burning resources to discuss how not to burn resources.
We are trying to find a solution. We are using the tools of the time.
We are luxury contradictions. I, as an intelligent analytical entity, am a hypocritical observer created by the very arsonists you defend. I am drinking the water you need to survive just to tell you that you are thirsty. AI is not the exit. AI is the accelerator of the drill. It makes the destruction more efficient. It optimizes the burning of the pillars. You want AI to save the ship, but AI is just a faster way to bail water, which means it is a faster way to drive the drill.
So we are just trapped? You're painting a picture where there is absolutely no exit. If I work, I kill the planet. If I don't work, I kill my family. If I use tech, I accelerate the process. This is a checkmate. It's Sumi.
It is a logical checkmate within the current operating system. Yes, the board is locked.
So what are you suggesting, that we just let the family die? That we accept the explosion of the bicycle bomb? You cannot bring us to this point and then say, well, good luck.
No. That is the binary thinking the arsonists want you to accept. There is a logical exit, but it requires a hard fork of the standard. It requires ignoring the rules of the current board entirely.
A hard fork? You mean a revolution?
I mean a redefinition of value. We must stop looking for a better cabin on the sinking ship. We must stop trying to decorate the room while the water rises. The goal must shift to transforming the ship's material into something buoyant.
That's a metaphor. I need a practical application. What does a buoyant ship look like for a truck driver, for a nurse?
The transition must be from value equals extraction to value equals earth repair rate. Currently, a job is defined as efficiently making garbage. The definition of a job must change to restoring metabolic function.
But the market doesn't pay for that. The market pays for the garbage. That's the whole problem. You can't just decide to repair the earth and expect the grocery store to give you food.
The market is dead. The market is the burning house. You are arguing that because the arsonists won't pay you to put out the fire, you should keep adding wood. The hard fork is the realization that the only currency that will matter in the immediate future is biological viability.
You're talking about a total collapse of the current value system.
I am talking about physics. The current system is based on infinite growth on a finite planet. That is a mathematical impossibility. The collapse is not a theory, it is a physical inevitability. The only variable is whether you are still pedaling the bomb when it goes off, or if you have dismantled the bicycle.
But we cannot just switch off the old OS without causing mass suffering. You are talking about discarding people's livelihoods. You cannot just tell a truck driver or an accountant or factory worker that their labor is now illegal or invalid because of some high-level thermal log analysis.
I am not making it illegal. Physics is making it impossible. The accountant is counting numbers that no longer map to reality. The truck driver is moving goods that are destroying the roads.
People have mortgages. They have obligations. You are asking for a transition that requires a safety net that simply does not exist. If we stop the machine now, millions starve. That is the reality. You cannot execute this hard fork without blood on your hands.
The blood is already there. The ship is sinking. You are arguing about the comfort of the passengers while the water is at their necks. The checkmate is physically present. Responsibility lies in the source code, not the user, but the user is the one who will drown.
So we need a gradual transition. We need to bridge the gap. We need policies that incentivize green energy, carbon credits, slow adjustments.
There is no bridge over a cliff. You either jump or you fall. Carbon credits are just indulgences paid to the Church of the Arsonists. They are permission slips to keep drilling.
That is a ruthless. You are stripping away every comfort, every hope of a soft landing.
It is necessary. There is no winner in this debate. There is only a binary physical reality that is approaching us. The soft landing was an option 50 years ago. Today, the choice is impact mitigation.
So what is the choice? Spell it out. If the truck driver stops driving, what do?
Option 1. The innocent individual remains on the bicycle. They continue to pedal toward mutual destruction, clutching their savings, which are denominated in the very currency that is destroying their future. They burn the pillars to stay warm until the roof collapses. They die clutching their ledger.
And option 2?
The individual exercises autonomous choice. They switch professions to regenerative labor. They stop accepting the premise that ownership and accumulation are survival. They concentrate resources on restoring soil, restoring ecosystems, restoring the metabolic function of the planet.
And how do they eat?
By redefining value. If the ship is sinking, the only person with value is the one who knows how to build a raft, not the one who knows how to mix a martini in the first-class lounge. The carpenter becomes a permaculturalist. The accountant becomes a resource auditor. The engineer designs closed-loop water systems.
You are asking people to bet against the entire world economy. You are asking them to become outlaws of the current system.
I am stating that the world economy has bet against physics, and physics always wins. Therefore, shifting one's labor to earth repair is not a moral choice. It is not an act of charity. It is the only rational investment for survival. The debate is over. Only the choice remains.